ahead.
You know what fella's good for the moolah.
The Mountain Bike World Cup.
With the Volvo V70 cross-country all-wheel drive.
Hello and welcome to Leysin in Switzerland for the final round of the downhill duel Tissot-UCI sponsored World Cup. We are in round 8, the final round. First racing we're going to see here is the duel. A good crowd for the duel, good weather as well. In the semi-final is Anne-Caroline Chausson against Lisa Scher. Anne-Caro getting a good start, Lisa Scher not. In the other semi-final, Sara Jorgensen against Tara Janis. Similar problem there for Jorgensen. Tried to jump the gate, Janis going through into the final. This is the run-off for the third and fourth places between Sara Jorgensen and Lisa Scher. Sara Jorgensen coming through to win that, coming third in the duel. She'll be pleased about that. That's good season for her. And the final between Anne-Caroline Chausson and Tara Janis, the Subaru Specialized rider. Don't forget, Anne-Caroline Chausson already won the World Cup with 6 wins out of 7 in the duel. And what a rider she is. Clearly head and shoulders above the rest of the riders. She jumps well, her technique is perfect, she's super strong. She wins the World Cup with 7 out of 8 wins. In the men's racing, Steve Peat, the GT rider, against Brian Lopes in the quarter-finals. A great start for Steve Peat. Getting the whole shot over Brian Lopes. Impossible riding here from Peat. But Lopesy coming back now, coming on the inside there against Steve Peat. And Peat being taken out there by Brian Lopes, the leader of the World Cup. It just shows you why he is the leader. Already won 6 out of 7 rounds, and Petey trying to get back at the Volvo Cannondale Pro. What a great race from him. I'm sure Steve felt that he had that race won, but you should never think that against Brian Lopes. Never, never, never. That's why Brian Lopes has won 6 out of 7 with just this one race to go. I think he's happy about that. In the semi-final, C.Gracia, Lopes' teammate against Michael Deldic, the European dual slalom champion. C.Gracia getting the whole shot against Michael Deldic, but Deldic coming back now. Similar move to Brian Lopes there against Steve Peat, and Deldic holding his line. C.Gracia trying to come through on the inside, but Deldic coming through there. Great riding. He's a big fella. He's very strong. C.Gracia, great technique. He won. He's the only other winner of a dual race so far this season. That was in Mont Saint Anne when Brian Lopes was taken out earlier on in the rounds by jumping the gate. But this is Brian Lopes in the other semi-final against Peter Jock, the Rock Machine rider. Lopesy so fast out of the gate. No problem really for the World Cup leader. He jumps well. He's a good runner from the when he gets out in front, and it just shows you against Steve Peat he can do it when he's behind as well. So easy win there for Brian Lopes, going through to the final. Good stuff for him. C.Gracia against Peter Jock, the Rock Machine rider, Volvo Cannondale Pro. Looking good here. He is super fast. His technique is excellent. Jumping well as well. Peter Jock not able to get back at him. A good win for C.Gracia for the 3rd place position. Excellent riding. He'll be happy with that. The final between Brian Lopes and Michael Deldic. Lopesy slowest in the qualifying, so he's on the slower gate, but Michael Deldic trying to jump over that gate there. Lopesy no problem here. But Deldic, I think that was a question of him being upset by his own rhythm there, because he tried to jump the gate, went too early and got caught up there. I don't know whether he had a problem with his rear cassette, but Lopesy now, this is going to be 7 wins out of 8. This is amazing. He's so strong. He's virtually given up riding downhill this season to concentrate on the duel, and well, it's paid dividends, hasn't it? 7 wins out of 8. Just a replay there of the mistake from Michael Deldic, the European dual slalom champion. Meant that Brian Lopes had no problem, so Lopesy wins the overall, as does Anne-Caroline Chausson. Look at that, 7 out of 8 wins for her. Tara Janis in 2nd, Lee Donovan in 3rd. Sabrina Johnnier in fourth. Brian Lopes, an easy win overall for the 2000 World Duel standings. C.Gracia in second. Wade Boots in third. Mikel Deldic going up to fourth by dint of that second place here. We go straight into the downhill. This is Claudio Cagliari, the Swiss champion, just giving us a view of what this course looks like. It's very, very fast. It's just under 4 kilometers long. Drops by about 740 meters. It starts at an altitude of about 2,040 meters, finishes at about 1,300 meters. This section, very technical, very slippery on that corner there, on that right-hand turn. So important to get a good line down here on this single track. Cagliari just explaining, you can hear it from his voice actually, can't you? What an effort it is for him. Breathing really hard. This is a very fast course, a little bit like Capron in the previous round. I don't know whether you might have seen that coverage that we showed you from round 7 of the World Cup. But Cagliari obviously taking it out of him here. Conditions for this practice run for Cagliari is very good indeed. Lots of jumps on this course, 3 big ones. It's got about 3 or 4 technical sections where it's fairly rocky, and if this actually rains, absolutely treacherous for the riders.
C'est pas facile ici.
Okay. Taking it out of him.
As
I say, it starts at 2,040 meters, finishes at 1,300 meters in Leysin. Big drop off here. Big 10, 15-foot drop off there. That's going to compress the suspension right to its full 8 inches front and rear. Another big jump coming up here. Big jump. 20, 30 feet off of the jump there.
The Mountain Bike World Cup.
With the Volvo V70 cross-country all-wheel drive.
We go straight into the women's downhill with Lee Donovan, the Schwinn Toyota rider. She had a time of 8:03.38 in the semis this morning, and that was 3rd fastest. She's got a time to beat now, set by Missy Giove of 8:12.41. She desperately wants to do well here because she has the chance of moving up to 3rd finally in the general classement at the end of the season. So Lee desperate to do well, but these conditions really are atrocious, so different to what we saw in the run set by Claudia Cagliari when we saw the downhill course. Perfect, of course, there, and indeed for the duel yesterday, but Lee Donovan trying to hold on to that bike now. Conditions absolutely atrocious. It's been raining, it's misty, the clouds are here. So desperate for these riders, and she's paddling out now, just trying to keep that bike upright. This is good riding from Lee Donovan, the 1995 world champion. She's had a great season so far. Very good indeed. She was actually disappointed, though, with her final world result. She was 17th there. She had a problem, but she's looking good now. The time she's got to beat, 8:12.41. She's gonna beat that, I'm sure. Her time is excellent now. That time, 7:45.85. What a great time set by Lee Donovan. And we go straight into the next rider coming down the mountain. Céline Gros, the young French woman. My word, what a rider she is. Only 16 years. The Scott Lucasaz rider, her time in the semi-finals, 8:01.11. She has that time set by Lee Donovan to beat now, a 7:45.85. Céline Gros, 4th in the Junior World Championships this year in Spain. Just about 9 seconds slower than Kathy Pruitt, the American rider, and the 2 British riders, Helen Gaskill and Fionn Griffiths. But Céline Gros looking good at the moment. She'll want to do as well as she did in the semi-finals, but desperately trying to hold on to that bike now, as Lee Donovan did. Look at her paddling along now. So difficult here. She wants to keep as much momentum as possible, but losing out there, my word. That was what Lee Donovan was trying to not to do, and in fact, Céline Gros has just done that. So difficult. Very muddy under tyre now. It looks like she's going to lose it here. Lost control totally then. This is unfortunate for the Scot rider, but her time is still very good indeed. I don't think she's going to beat the time set by Lee Donovan, a 7:45.85, but she might beat the time set by Missy Giove, currently in second spot at the moment with 8:12.41, and it looks like it's going to be a good time for Celine Gros. I think it is indeed. 8:05.65. She moves into second spot as we go straight up to Anne-Caroline Chausson, the woman who has actually already won the Downhill World Cup. She's had 6 wins out of 7 so far. She's going to want to make it 7 out of 8. My goodness me, what riding. Anne-Caroline Chausson, so fast. What can you say about this woman? She won the World Championships in Spain. Only just over 1 second faster than Katja Repo and Marla Streb, the American rider. But Anne-Caroline Chausson, she is so good when the conditions are bad. In fact, she's so good when conditions are good as well. And the time set by Lee Donovan to beat, 7:45.85. Celine Gros in second, Missy Giove in third at the moment. Johnnier in fourth with Sandra Walker. A good ride from her in fifth spot at the moment, but they have to beat this woman, Anne-Caroline Chausson, the woman who wrapped up the Dual World Cup yesterday. What riding that was there. But just watch this technique from the Frenchwoman, Anne-Caroline Chausson. Holding it together, unlike Celine Gros. And it looks like she's a little bit quicker than Lee Donovan here. Holding the bike together, so different from the duel yesterday when it was dry on this section of the course. But the time, absolutely amazing. She's just going to be over 7 minutes, but she's going to beat the time set by Lee Donovan. It's a time of 7:05, almost just over 40 seconds faster than Lee Donovan is second. Just look at this action replay. Marvellous technique we've got for you there. That's slight images of Lee Donovan just ahead of Anne-Caroline Chausson at the moment, but Anne-Caroline just coming through on the corner now. A little bit more tentative, but letting go of the brakes there. Just look at that. Superb technique from the Frenchwoman. So, a confirmation of the win there for Anne-Caroline Chausson in first spot. Donovan in second, Gros in third, Giove fourth, Johnnier in fifth, Sandra Walker in sixth. Great ride from Lee Donovan. As we go straight into the men's downhill with Ivan Ulego Moreno, the Spanish Castle rider. He was 13th fastest, this morning with a time of 6:37.66 in qualifying. He looks like he's just gone out of the course markings there, but he comes down the mountain with the fastest time, 6:27.66. I think he's happy about that. This may be his best result yet. I think he's very happy about that as we go straight to Michael Deldic, the Talifa Fasfacia rider. Deldic, the European dual slalom champion, should I say, the dual champion. He's superb at the dual. He's also a very good downhill rider, 5th at Junior Worlds in 1998. He was 10th at the 1999 Senior World Championships. And in fact, got a 3rd place at the World Championships in the duel this year in Sierra Nevada, and looking good at the moment. Michael Deldic, a big, strong rider. He's a good bike handler, as you saw in the duel yesterday that we showed with B.Lopes, and his time, got to beat that time set by Ivan Ulego Moreno. That time, 6:27.66. It's going to be very tight indeed for the French rider. Is he going to make it 6:28.24? Just over half a second slower for Michael Deldic. Good riding nonetheless for him. Best result this season, a 34th place at Leger, as we go straight to the top of the mountain with Christian Eriksson, the Swedish rider. 14th in the World Cup last year, 6th at the World Championships at Aura. Of course, in his home country there, the Scot rider hoping to do well. His best ever World Cup, 6th at Bremont in Canada last year. Christian Eriksson loves riding in the rain. He won the Swedish Championships actually back in 1998. He was 2nd last year in 1999. They haven't had the championships this year yet, but he's looking good here in Leysin. Good technique round that corner. That was taking the women out there. No problem for Christian Eriksson, though. He's got to beat the time set by Ivan Ulego Moreno, and he's going to smash it. He's going to be around about 6:20, I think, 6:20.43. What a superb time from Christian Eriksson. As we go straight to Steve Peat, the British rider, the man who is 2nd overall in the World Cup. He's not going to beat Nicolas Vouilloz overall, but he wants to hold on to that 2nd position because David Vasquez might be able to take that, might have been able to have taken that over. Vasquez already gone down the mountain so far. But Pete hoping to do well here, although I did actually speak to him before the race, before racing in the final, having a few problems there in that technical section, just getting a glimpse of his of the bike hanging out a little bit there. But I was having, as I was saying, having a word with Steve earlier today, and he was saying that the fire's kind of gone out of him, seeing as though he can't win the World Cup now. He knows he's virtually got second place wrapped up, but he wants to beat that time set by Mikel Del Dique, a superb time. Just over 6:20, and it looks like Steve isn't actually really going for it now, does it? The GT rider, won of course in Mont Saint Anne, had a great result there. He wants to beat that time of the time, not of Mikel Del Dique, the time of Christian Eriksen, 6:20.43. These riders coming down so fast, he's getting me confused actually, but Steve looking good at the moment, trying to get that tear off of his visors. So difficult to see here. The mud coming up into the face. Christian Eriksen, that fastest time, 6:20.43. Ulega Moreno in second at the moment. Steve is going to want to try and beat that time. He rips off that tear off. Looks like he's actually got a towel on his handlebars as well, just to wipe the hands. And this is the difficult part. Difficult for a rider like Steve Peat, of course, because he is so tall. His centre of gravity much higher than a lot of shorter riders, but looking like he's a little bit slower than Del Dique, and indeed Ivan Ulega Moreno, the Spanish rider who upsets his compatriot Tommy Missa, who was fastest before Moreno came down, but Peat is not going to beat the time set by Christian Eriksen. That time, 6:20.43. Steve just over 10 seconds slower, 6:31.03. We go down into the man who was third fastest in qualifying this morning with a time of 6:13.15. Mikel Pascal. What must he do to win a World Cup race? Indeed, a major international race. He's always second, he's always third. I keep mentioning this, but this guy is too good not to win a World Cup race. It will happen. I don't know whether it'll happen here, but he's very, very fast indeed. That split time, 4:44 fastest. Mikel Pascal wants to win a race. He wants to win the finals here in Leysin. Round 8 of the Tissot-UCI sponsored World Cup. And the man from France looking very, very good indeed. He was a teammate of Nicolas Vouilloz before in the Sun team. He now rides for the B1 team. The man who was second in the World Championships in 1999. He was third in 1998, and indeed third this year in the year 2000 at Sierra Nevada, behind Miles Rockwell and Steve Peat. What will it be here for Mikel Pascal? Just trying to get that tear off of his visors. Very, very difficult. The hands slow, slippery, but a technique superb from Pascal. He's a quick rider. Almost losing it there where Moreno went out of the course. But Pascal holding his line well. He won the French National Points Series last year. And looking good in the World Cup this year. Currently lying in 7th spot. What will it be for Mikel Pascal? He wants to get higher overall in the World Cup. He was 4th last year in 1999, sorry. He was 5th in 1998. Can he get into the top 5? He will do if he does a good ride here, but the fastest man at the moment is Christian Eriksen with that time of 6:20.43. Can Pascal beat that? He was quicker at the intermediate mark, and that tear-off getting in his way there, desperately trying to move it out of his sights. Just watch the technique here. It looks like he's quicker than Steve Peat, doesn't it? A lot quicker. My word, brilliant, brilliant technique. Pascal looking good at the moment. I think his time is going to be very good indeed. He's got to beat that time of 6:20.43. I think he's on for it. The Frenchman, the B1 rider, is looking good. 6:17.93. What a run from Pascal. He moves into first spot. Wow, that was just truly amazing from Pascal. I think he's happy with that. But will it be quick enough here? He looked good in the semis this morning, but can he beat the man who is his nemesis, Nicolas Vouilloz, who is the man who will be next down the mountain? But just look at this, the slow-mo of the two riders superimposed on each other. Pascal clearly a little bit quicker down that last muddy descent there. As we go to Nicolas Vouilloz, the man who has already won the World Cup so far this season. He is fast. He was second fastest in qualifying with a time of 6:11.39. Vouilloz, who has already won 4 races this season. And it's difficult there, watching him paddle out. That's surprising from Vouilloz. Technically, he's usually so good, but having a few problems there. I wonder, actually, if he's lost a little bit of the fire in his belly. I wouldn't be surprised, because he just can't be beaten in the World Cup. So his point is really risking life and limb to try and win here when he knows he's won overall. But he does like winning World Cups. He's already won 15 World Cup races so far in his career. He's won 8 World Championships, but as we see the clouds descend here at Leysin, but he didn't win the World Championships this year. The first time that Vouilloz has never won a World Championships in the whole time that he's been racing. I think that made him more determined actually to win the World Cup. But he's just, I don't know what it is, but it looks like he was just a little bit slower than Pascal then, but looks can be deceiving because Vouilloz is so smooth. He's not as wild as his ex-teammate and compatriot, French compatriot, Michael Pascal. Vouilloz, who, if he had a weakness before in his racing, it used to be his strength, but no more. The man is a fully-fledged, grown-up guy. He's won everything, and he's looking good now here. Pascal fastest with that time of 6:17.93. Vouilloz has to beat that time if he wants to win in Leysin. He's already won 4 World Cups this season so far, and guess what? The other 3 placings, second. He's just so good. Vouilloz, now, just watch his technique here. Pascal was super quick through here. But can Vouilloz, it looks like he's in trouble, actually. Nowhere near as smooth. That is surprising from Vouilloz. The man who has already won 4 World Cup titles. And indeed, his 5th for this year. What is his time going to be for the time at Leysin? 6:17.93 he's got to beat. And he does. He beats the time of Pascal. I can't believe that. I thought he might lose it on that bottom section of the course. But Vouilloz comes through with a time of 6:17.24. He's done it again. He's beat Pascal and he's moved into 1st spot. Being congratulated there by the head of Michelin. My word, I just can't believe that. When will Pascal ever beat Nicolas Vouilloz? He's not going to do it here in Leysin, but this man might. C.Gracia, the Volvo Cannondale rider, the man who was fastest in qualifying with a time of 6:06.48, almost 5 seconds faster than Vouilloz, who was second. And already actually looking at Gracia now, he's looking very, very good, isn't he? He loves riding in the rain. The only other previous World Cup win he's had was in Nevergal back in 1998 when he won in conditions actually similar to this. A slight mistake there from Cedric. You just caught the back end of his leg coming off the pedal and getting huge air. And he even looked at the crowd. If nothing, this guy enjoys himself when he races downhill. He really does enjoy himself. His technique is good. He likes the wet conditions. In fact, he probably would have wanted it to be like this. Cedric knows, and just going slightly outside the course there, but coming back in only a couple of feet there. Not as bad as Ulego Moreno. But Gracia, he's got to beat that time set by Nicolas Vouilloz, 6:17.24. Gracia going for it big time. His time in qualifying this morning was a lot faster than Vouilloz's time of 6:17. That qualifying time of Gracia, 6:06. I don't know whether it will be as quick as that here because conditions have deteriorated for the finals this afternoon. But as you can see, Vouilloz leading with that time, 6:17.24. What can Gracia do? He's won a round of the downhill, the dual World Cup. He's already won a round of the downhill back in 1998. Can he win a round in the year 2000? He desperately wants to do that. He was 7th at the World Championships this year. He's looking good on that section, looking a lot better than Nicolas Vouilloz. Vouilloz looked particularly slow there, but Gracia's time, this is amazing. 6:03, 6:04. He's going to smash the time set by Nicolas Vouilloz. 6:08, 1.10, 9.14 faster. That is absolutely astonishing. What a run from the likeable Frenchman. Does an impression there of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, super strong Cedric, and being congratulated by team manager Charlie Livermore. And guess what? It's Charlie's birthday today. Amazing riding from C.Gracia. And being surrounded by all of the reporters here. And just look at his technique there. Cuts the corner. That's Vouilloz superimposed against C.Gracia. And Gracia clearly faster than the man who was second fastest here. Just look at this jump. Watch him. Watch when he lands. Boof. Looks at everyone to say, well, aren't I brilliant? Oh, we love it. So confirmation of Gracia's win. Vouilloz second, Pascal third, Ericsson fourth, Moreno not fifth. He has been disqualified, we've learned, for going out of the course. Del Deep moves to fifth, Steve Peat into sixth.
I started pretty good, like maybe a little bit too fast. I had a big mistake on the first turn, like I slide because I didn't see with the cloud. I didn't see where was the first turn. Oh, I was like, okay, you have to go slow a little bit now if you like to go to the finish line. After that, I was fast. I was pretty clean, and I do like 2 mistakes in the rocks, like run a little bit after the bike because I was maybe a little bit straight. It was hard to brake on the rocks with a mud tire, but I had a pretty good finish run. I was like a little bit. The two last the turn, I was safe, but I really don't know I was good. Like best time, 9 seconds. It's like pretty big for a final. I really don't know. I had fun for sure.
So the overall winner in the Women's World Cup, Anne-Caroline Chausson, for the third time running, with Missy Jovet in second, Lee Donovan leapfrogging into third, with Sabrina Jonier in fourth and Katja Repo in fifth. Excellent riding from Chausson. And in the men's table, Nicolas Vouilloz, his fifth time of winning the World Cup. Steve Peat once again in second spot overall, with David Vasquez in third. Gracia moving up to fourth and Michael Pascal in fifth. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage here from Leysin, the finals of the Downhill Dual World Cup. This is me, Mark Bice-Eagle, saying au revoir.